Hey everyone, how are you going? Thanks for joining us. Not many people so far, but that was to be expected tonight. Hope you all had a good week. I certainly didn't. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But we're here now, so that's what really matters. So basically, what's going to happen tonight? I've got a couple of things to talk about, not too much. Hopefully, you guys might have something to talk about. It depends on how many people join us. But so tonight, first thing first, there is a non-zero chance that this whole thing is going to crash and burn. My system may crash tonight. If I suddenly disappear, to be honest, I'll probably abandon it and not come back, and we'll try again another time. I'll get back to that in a minute. But let's see, tonight, a few things in the news. There was a story on TVNZ this morning that we want to talk about. A couple of things with SpaceX, maybe. A couple of things with NASA. Honestly, I don't really have too much to talk about tonight, but I also wouldn't mind talking about a couple of other things, just some updates on what we have been talking about previously. And I am very keen to have a go with Kerbal Space Program. So I wouldn't mind talking about that. If there's any KSP fans out there, let me know, because I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to see how it goes trying to run that tonight, if we get time. But we'll get back to that a little bit later on. So, hey, Casey, Hamish, nice to see you guys. And I think with that, let me tell you about my week, because it's been, I was going to say a week from hell, but basically it's been a down and up week. So let me just tell you about that, and we'll just wait and see if we get any more people joining us, and then we'll talk about some space stuff. So what happened was, early in the week, I discovered that I had a serious problem with my setup here. Now, while I think about that, if there's something wrong, if I start broadcasting and there's something obviously wrong, could you please let me know in the chat? For example, last week my audio was all over the place. It was terrible, but I didn't actually realize. So just let me know and be specific. Say, Dave, your audio is too loud, or whatever's wrong. Thanks for that. So yeah, what happened was, I discovered when I'm doing these remote learning sessions with schools, in certain configurations, it wasn't working properly. And I thought they were seeing everything that I was showing, but in fact, it was chopping off half the screen. So that's not much good. So I've had to spend most of my week trying to fix that problem. The reason I'm telling you that is that the solution that I came up with involved me having to write an extension for the software that I'm using. So I had to write some code to go with it. And I'm not very good at it. I'm what you could, the best thing you could say about my coding is that I'm a hobbyist. I wouldn't want to show my code off to any professional programmers. And what that has meant is that the extensions that I've written are not exactly the most stable. And I've only just finished doing it. Whenever I run them, my CPU usage goes way up, and it has crashed a couple of times. So if that happens, I apologize. So Casey's saying you had no problems. Thanks for that, Casey. That's all good. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining in. Hey, Sean, good to see you. Thank you so much. Back from Queenstown this week. Good on you. I hope you had a good time. So if I can just ask your indulgence for a minute, I want to test something out with you guys. It only take about 30 seconds. So imagine that you are a teacher, you're in your class at school, you've booked me in for a session. I join, here I am, we're all ready to go. And I'm going to start by saying, I've got a quick technical test that we need to do. Can you tell me if you can see the words top and bottom and the numbers 1 to 6? And if you say yes, that's fine. We just carry on. If you say no, I can only see some of those numbers, then I will go like this and say, right, does that work? Can you see everything now? And if they say yes, I click a couple of buttons, wait a couple of seconds, and from now on, I've done the wrong thing. That wasn't a good start. I'm going to try that again. See, this is partly why I need to test it. So let's just try that again. So right now, everyone should be able to see, even if you're watching on an old 4:3 screen, you should be able to see the whole thing. And from now on, if I show you a whole bunch of pictures, everything should be in that aspect ratio. I'll just go back to our intro video, show a couple of things like this, and everything should work. So as far as I can see, from my end, this is working okay now. And now I'm just going to go back to our normal live stream setup. And, did I press all the right buttons? Yeah, there we go. So now we should be back in business. So that all just worked for me. Let me know if anything went wrong at your end, or if that doesn't make sense, or if you think that's a stupid solution. Okay, so that's all good. Hey, Blake. So thanks for joining us. Right, so hopefully that test worked okay, because I've got a bunch of sessions this week with some New Zealand schools, and I really want that to work right. So as I've already said, the downer was that my software is a little bit flaky. On the plus side, it has meant that I've been able to learn more how to set up my own controls, some custom controls, and be able to work better with different sources and be able to do things more efficiently. So that's quite a good thing, hopefully. And I'm going to show you a quick example of how that might work. So hopefully I will show you that. And I better keep an eye on my CPU usage in case anything gets a bit too drastic. But I'm thinking I'm going to show you, this is a live view from the space station. Okay, so you guys are all familiar with this. I love to show these things off. But what I've done here is I've actually written a little extension that means that I should be able to switch between these views nice and easily. It's nighttime. I didn't really think that through, did I? So you can see on the map there, by the way, that with the map there, I can hopefully toggle the map on and off, make the map larger so that we can see where the space station is, pop it back in the corner, and flick between those camera views. So again, that seems to be working okay, and nothing has crashed yet. I'm still in business. So that's just an example of the kind of thing that I'm hoping I will be able to do a lot more efficiently. So, right, Mike's saying everything's great on my iPad. Casey can see everything. Karsten, hey Karsten, looks good on your screen. Also the modified view. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate your help there because I don't really want to have to be doing all of that when I'm actually with a school class, of course. And since you guys aren't paying for the session, I figured I'd test it with you first. Right, we've got some people waiting in our Zoom meeting. So I tell you what, I might actually, maybe we should just give that a go right now, actually. I might just close that extension so that I can get rid of that right now. Okay, so I tell you what, just give me a moment with the Zoom thing. I want to just finish off what I was talking about there. So with the live feeds and things coming in, you guys know I'm a big fan of that, of getting all sorts of live data, imagery, and stuff like that. So now that I've got a better way of accessing it and bringing it into live shows, I'm on the lookout for what would be good things to bring in. So you can see on the monitor behind me, these are all this setup is different live feeds coming in. Now I want to be able to bring them into this system and be able to show them. The problem with getting live feeds and information from around the world is they keep changing all the time. Like with the Space Center, the Space Station live video feeds, we lost some of the best ones and now they've got a different one. But if I show you our website, if you go to spacecenter.nz, if you click on our resources section and just hunt around a bit under space website, it's got a link to some of the feeds that we use here in the Space Center for some of our live feeds. I do need to update this, but these are some of the ones that I use. These are great ones. Just go and check it out. I guess the point of this is that I'm looking for new ones. If you guys have got any suggestions for webcams, things like that, or any kind of maybe satellite or telescope feeds, that sort of stuff, it would be awesome. I have noticed that the Kennedy Space Center webcams are back up and running. I was about to give up on these. We have a display here about them, but it's been down since September last year. I was just about to break that display down because I didn't think it was coming back, but that's good news that they're back up again. Another favorite one of mine would be the Stuffin.space. That's a really good one. That shows you all the space junk and stuff around the Earth. So anyway, anyone got any suggestions for that? That would be awesome. Blake's is the best and better than you. I'm on Zoom. Okay, thanks for that, Blake. We've just lost someone. Sorry, someone got got sick of waiting for me. I think that was you, Blake, wasn't it? Now, what I'm going to do now, because Karsten's waiting to come in on Zoom, we'll give that a test, shall we? So I am not sure how well this is going to go, but I'm going to admit you in, Karsten, and see if we can get you in on the action here. I need to just get rid of my self view. So now, Karsten, if you're listening, it's really important that when you're talking to me in the Zoom session, that you're talking to me and everyone else, of course, on Zoom, not trying to talk to me on YouTube once you've joined the Zoom session. So anyone can join in. Here's the details here. This is an experimental thing. Just join the meeting. We'll try and bring you in, but just make sure that you are talking on Zoom. So we've got Carsten in there, but hang on, what's happened? I'm not quite sure. I'll just leave that going down here, and we'll see if you are able to get your video feed going there, Carsten. Okay, what do we want to talk about tonight? I've just realized it's going to be hard for me to see my chat at the same time. That's all right. So let's talk about the story that was on TVNZ this morning. Did any of you see this? Any of the Kiwis here? It was on TVNZ, so you'd be able to see it on demand. It was this morning. It was on the Q&A show, and it was the last segment about that. And it was a segment all about the space junk problem and the issue of Starlink satellites and all of that kind of stuff. So it was a good story. Go and check it out. Sorry, I don't have a direct link, but they were basically talking about this whole issue of all the satellites that are being put up there. They had some astronomers on there talking about it, and they had Peter Beck from Rocket Lab talking about the issues. And so it is a real issue at the moment. I'm getting it a lot from people just asking how I feel about the whole thing. Well, I'm in two minds about it. I'm really all over the idea of having this worldwide internet, better internet access. I'm quite keen one day to move out into the country somewhere, but I want to have good internet access. So I like that whole side of it. And they're really cool to see. On that note, there's supposed to be a pass tonight. Okay, so just after 8 o'clock tonight. Don't let me forget. Someone put it in the chat. If we're, it's a couple of minutes past 8, looking towards the southwest, there's supposed to be quite a good pass of the Starlink satellite train that launched on the 4th. So it should still be a really good view of that. But yeah, the whole astronomy thing with the Starlink and all the other satellites, it is a worry. And I keep seeing the argument that it's going to spoil our night sky for people looking at the sky. So yes, that's an issue, and I don't really like that. But for me, the real thing is the actual astronomical research. I've heard from a bunch of astronomers saying that this is really going to spoil their line of research. I remember seeing a presentation from one astronomer who reckoned that she had maybe another 5 years or so before all of these satellites were really going to impact her research so much that it was becoming infeasible to keep it going. And I think that's really worrying that we're doing this kind of stuff and we're actually spoiling our chances of learning about the universe. So, yeah, I hate them more than I love them. I hate them and love them, but I hate them more. So, yeah. Hang on, Carsten's saying, testing if I can still comment while on Zoom. Stopped the live feed on YouTube, though. That's interesting. Let's go back to our Zoom, and I can see you there, Carsten. Can you hear me okay? Okay, so what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to just bring up the audio first. Can you say something, Carsten? Let's just have a listen.
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. See how it works.
Yep, okay, good as gold. Now we're going to try and bring you online. And there's Carsten, everyone. Been a big supporter of both the Space Centre here and the show. Some of you will remember Carsten actually presented on the show back in 2019, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, quite a time ago.
Okay, well, it was, but this seems to be working okay, much better than the test we did last time. So how's everything with you, Carsten?
Yeah, the video is a bit more unfocused compared to the YouTube, but it's still okay. So it's
okay then. Well, that sounds good. If anyone else wants to comment and tell us how well this is looking and sounding, that would be awesome, because a part of the plan is to get guest speakers in to come and do this. But of course, we want to test that out well before we actually go. Go, Carsten.
Sound is much more louder than in YouTube, though. I should turn my speaker a bit down. But it's clear and understandable, so all good.
Okay, that is really awesome. The sound is one of the problems. It seems to vary a lot. Like when you go on YouTube, it normalizes the sound and adjusts the level, so it is all a little bit tricky. But anyway, that's all looking really good. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about or tell us about, Carsten?
No, just curious how that all works. And yeah, I'm really impressed what you're doing there. So.
Oh, thank you so much. Look, I'm really impressed actually as well that this seems to be working very well. That's not normally how we roll here. We normally need at least a dozen tests before things start actually coming together. So look, that is so cool. If there's nothing else, Carsten, we might let you go back and get back to watching it. But if there's anything else you wanted to say, you can just go for your life.
Not at the moment. I shut up and.
Okay, then. Thank you so much for that, Carsten. Really appreciate that. That's made me feel much better. That's lifted my week. It really has. That's helped me a lot. Okay, so I just have to think about what I do next. I need to be able to go back to seeing the chat. Okay, so Casey's saying hi again. You're watching from Levin, of course, down there. So Mike, Casey, hi, Carsten. All saying hi, Carsten. Everyone's saying it sounds good. Hey, Wendy, nice to see you. And good to see Carsten again, of course, isn't it? Awesome. Well, I'm feeling about the best I have done all week. So thanks very much, everyone. Now, the next thing would be, I guess, to think about who we can have as guest speakers on here, because I reckon we're confident enough. I'm happy with that. I reckon that works well enough. One possibility would be Austin, who joined us last week from Texas. If you tuned in last week, Austin, who's been following and documenting everything that's been happening with the SpaceX developments over in Boca Chica. I'd love to get hold of him, and I did reach out to him on Facebook, but since we're not connected, he may not have seen my message. I haven't heard anything back yet. If any of you guys have gotten in there and know how to get hold of Austin and have got some influence, we would love to get him coming through and being part of the show. Okay, right, that's all good. So I talked about the story of what was on TVNZ this morning, and that kind of carries on to what's happening with SpaceX in particular and the whole Starlink thing. So a couple of things. There is actually a Starlink launch tonight for those of you who are interested in that. I can't remember what time, sorry, but if you go and have a look at spacex.com, you can catch the live stream of that. They're getting pretty routine now, aren't they? The Falcon 9 launches with the Starlink, you don't really expect to see anything going wrong with that. But if you're keen, that's happening tonight. I did mention, of course, the pass over New Zealand at just after 8 o'clock. Excuse me. If we're still going, I wonder if I might run out and have a quick look at it. Now, with Starlink, I don't know if you caught up with this, but the Starlink plan, the actual internet connectivity, is available, or it's becoming available in New Zealand. It's one of the places where you can get it. So if you're interested in signing up for Starlink, it's only in beta at the moment, so don't expect too much. You can go and do that. What you need to do is go to starlink.com, and it's got a little form here where you enter your address. Is it going to let me do that? Well, that's not a good start. I had it all set up, ready to go. There's my address. Here we go. I'm going to order now. Let's click on it. So once it's loaded, you can kind of see you've got a certain amount of time. You've got 15 minutes to place your order. Otherwise, it goes back to the page. Now, here we go. So I don't know if it's got all of the prices on here. Yeah, here we go. So you enter your details, but here's the bad news. You're going to be up for $800 to get the hardware first of all, and then it's $160 per month. There was another $114 for the shipping and handling, but I think that big one there is the $159 per month for a beta program that will include regular dropouts and loss of signal. So that's a lot of money to get on board with a beta program. I was going to do it. I didn't realize it was going to be quite that expensive, but I'm afraid I just can't justify that kind of price. If anyone is getting on board with the beta program for Starlink, I would love to hear how it's going for you. So anyway, if you want to do that. Anthony, thanks for joining us. Crookie, how are you going, Crookie? Good to see you again. Thank you guys for joining. So anyway, that's the Starlink thing. So you can get on board with that right now. I believe it's going to work better in the South Island initially. But anyway, it is available throughout the country. So I think that was all the SpaceX thing. We watched the, let's just put that video up actually again. We watched it last week, didn't we? I told you about how I'd been watching the, oh, sorry, hang on, quick sec. Blake, I see you in the Zoom thing there. I'll be with you just shortly. So yeah, last week we talked about watching the SN10, this one was, and what happened after it landed. It was awesome. Oh, I love this. Really cool fireworks. Remember, it was actually a successful test. Everything went fine. They did stick the landing more or less, but afterwards things got a little bit explodey. We're not too concerned about that. And Elon has since tweeted out, and I think I've got his tweet here actually. So We now know Elon is reasonably comfortable with what's happening. Down the bottom there, he says SN10 engine was low on thrust due probably to partial helium ingestion from fuel header tank. So basically, he was saying it crushed the legs and part of the skirt. Multiple fixes in work for SN11. So we will definitely take that as a good sign that they know what's happened. Now, what was it? I did see it. It was something to do with the baffles in there. I think he was saying that the baffles were pulling the helium back down. Whether I can't remember the details. But anyway, it sounds like he's got some fixes in progress. And by the way, just as it happened, the tweet that was attached to that one that I saw was Austin, who came in last week. So that's the guy we're trying to get hold of. And you can see some of his photos there. So go and check him out. He's been doing some fantastic work, documenting and getting some really, really good photos. He's some really impressive ones. Okay, so I think that was about that, wasn't it? That was what happened last week. SN11, the next one. Some of you guys may have more news. If you know what's happening specifically with SN11, the next test, let me know. My understanding is obviously they've got those fixes that they are working on. They're working those issues. But other than that, I believe it's all go. They've been getting back out and getting things ready to go to the pad. Carsten's saying that's what tests are for. That's exactly right. It's exactly right. So SpaceX has a very different approach, don't they, to, say, NASA, who gets the sort of theoretical and the planning side and everything done. They put a lot of effort into their static fire test and all that kind of stuff before they go ahead with this kind of test, where SpaceX has kind of gone the other way. Lots of rapid iterations. Try it, see what fails, fix that, try it again. And to be honest, that seems to be working for them. It seems to be a good approach. So speaking of NASA's test and what I've just been saying, hang on, Blake. Is the best for you and better. Oh, hang on. Sorry. I think I might be missing part of your messages there, Blake. Look, I tell you what, Blake, if you still hear me, I'll get back to you in just a sec, honestly. I just wanted to mention that NASA has got a static fire test for the SLS that's coming up in just a couple of days. So we definitely want to keep an eye on that. It's nothing like one of these tests. It's just a ground test of the engine. But they really will want that to go well. So hopefully we'll be hearing back from them soon. Hamish is asking, Dave, do you know the big keyboard thing in the Space Center? There's a button that if you press to watch rocket ship crashes. Oh, yes. I think you should add the SpaceX explode. Oh, right. I see what you're saying. So in the Space Center here, we've got a video selector down the back, like a video jukebox. You just press buttons and watch videos. And Hamish is suggesting that I should put the SpaceX explosion onto it. Yeah, that's a really good idea. That desperately needs updating, that display, but that is a great idea because ones like that are really, really awesome. I don't know if I can use that one. I probably shouldn't have been using it here because I don't actually have permission from Tim to use that. I just assume that he's okay with it. I'm going to let Blake into the Zoom chat. So hopefully he is coming in now. So Carsten, we've got Blake there with you. I'm going to bring you guys both back online. If Carsten, if you don't want to be here anymore, you can leave. But let's do this. Let's bring you guys both in. So Blake, we've got you there. How are you going, Blake? Can you hear us okay? Blake, you need to be watching on Zoom. That's the thing. If you're listening on YouTube, you need to talk to me on the Zoom meeting rather than on YouTube because otherwise there's likely to be a little bit of a delay. So are you hearing me okay there, Blake?
So I had to activate my audio separately, which was a bit of a surprise, but yeah. Because I could see you, but I couldn't hear you.
Okay, so I don't know if you heard that, Blake, but Carsten's saying he had to activate his audio separately. So I'm just going to ask you to unmute there. And let's just see if you're getting that and if you can see and hear. Just give us a thumbs up if you can hear me, Blake. You can hear me okay. Righto. So did you want to say anything or are you just helping me test it out? Okay. Look, thank you so much because now we've got two people on there. This is the next step. This is a get ahead task. I didn't actually expect to get this far. So that is so cool. So if you guys have got anything that you want to say, you've got 4 seconds. 3, 2.
Do you want to test screen sharing from some?
Can you do that? Let's do that. Thanks everyone for bearing with us here. Yeah, Carsten, let's share your screen. Now, what I should do is I should put you on. Yeah. Oh, whoops, that didn't work very well, did it? Let's go back to that one. That's what testing is for. Yeah, because that would have gone back to me probably because I was talking. That's why we had a loop there. Okay, so we know to avoid that. So we're just going to see if Carsten can share his screen. I like your images on the back there, Blake. You've got some very cool pictures there. I'm seeing you've got, is that one of those NASA posters at the back there, like work on Mars and those kind of things? Yeah, that's a cool series of images, those ones. And obviously into aeronautics and stuff. Nice. Some very cool stuff. What I might do is I might just quickly go back to the chat. So you guys will all see that there and just see what's happening there. Right, yep. So we're just getting some confirmation with that, and that's good that I can flick backwards and forwards between those two things. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave you guys there for a moment, Carsten, and I'm just going to come back to you in just a sec and see if your screen is sharing okay. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with us while we do these things. You know, I know it's not talking about space, we're just getting technical stuff going, but it is all helpful. So what else has been happening in the news? Just a quick mention of the Chinese that have got a slow, steady, but really promising space program. They apparently had the launch of their Chang'e 7, the Long March 7 rocket. Now, I believe this one, I did have a couple of notes here. This one did try and launch last year, didn't it? But failed. And I believe that this was their first successful at this medium lift rocket. So that was all I had to say about that. Just a note that they had a successful test. NASA had, going back to NASA and the International Space Station, they had an EVA, which was just looked like basically maintenance, fairly routine kind of stuff there. Again, if any of you guys have got more information, just put it through on the chat. Where's your rocket posters, Blake? Yeah, Blake, Crookie, who has got an interest in these kind of things, reckons that you should have more rockets, I think. But obviously you're into planes, aeronautics and that kind of stuff as well. Okay, so now there was another couple of things over here. I saw a story that was just on stuff.co.nz today, a mention of the auroras, the southern lights. Now, this is obviously only of interest to the people in New Zealand because no one else can come to our country right now, or at least you shouldn't be. Apparently, we've got some really good opportunities to see the Aurora Australis, or Southern Lights. So go and check it out on stuff.co.nz if you want to read the article. But let me just squiz down here. Oh, hang on, let me just go back up here. Yeah, it was. I just wanted to make sure I got this right. It was Dr. Ian Griffin, who many of you will know, is saying that there's going to be some really, really good opportunities to see the Southern Lights. And it looks like the sun is getting more active again. So that's nice. We've had a couple of good sunspots, bit more activity. So we're just getting into the next solar cycle where we're hoping to start seeing a little bit more activity. And the next couple of months should be good opportunities with clear skies, hopefully. So if you're in the South Island, make sure you hopefully get down as far south as you can and check out these Southern Lights. A quick reminder, the Dear Moon project. We talked about this just a little bit last week. So this is the one where that guy, the Japanese guy's taking some people on a trip around the moon. If you want to get your application in, you've got a matter of hours to do it. So you need to go to dearmoon.earth, and put in your application. All you have to do is give them your name, your email address, and you upload a profile pic. Now, I should be clear, I didn't actually make this whole picture. I just sent in just a quick profile pic that I sent from my phone, and when you upload it, it puts it in the little astronaut suit and that there. So I don't know if there's much point in you applying because I'm applying and I expect to win the New Zealand spot if there is one. But give it a go anyway. There's nothing wrong with a bit of healthy competition. So that was just a quick reminder. You need to get in tonight, basically, if you want to do that one. Let's just see how these guys are going over there. It doesn't look like Carsten's got a screen share happening there yet. That's okay. I've just realized I need to be flicking between the chat. Let me just see if I can quickly rearrange something. Carsten, go ahead, Carsten.
Yeah, you have to authorize this, so I can't do it because you blocked it.
Good point. Thank you for that, Carsten. How do I do that? I should know this. Yikes.
I don't
know. Do I need to make you a co-host or something? No, I shouldn't need to do that, should I? Show yourself. I'm going to make you a co-host and see if that helps. Okay, so I'll leave you with that, Carsten. I'm not sure. Someone tell me, how do you allow someone to screen share? I don't normally use it. Actually, I don't normally use screen share when I'm Zooming because everything's on my camera feed. Okay, right. So we'll just keep an eye on you there. So yeah, I think that's. Oh, look. Yep, we're back in business. Here we go. If I go back to Carsten,
seems to work now.
It is working. Yep, I've got your screen share right there. It's Flight Pass or something. My eyes are.
Oh, that's actually it's my new hobby, amateur radio. And this is connections across the world using only 10 watts of power. And as you can see, we can reach with 10 watts of radio power. We can basically reach the entire world.
Wow. Okay. I actually did notice just on your camera view there, I noticed some of your radio equipment in the background there, I think.
I think it's just a oscilloscope.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow, that is awesome. That's another get ahead task. Now that worked when I made you a co-host. Is that when that came right, was it?
Yeah, that's when I could activate this little green button down in my Zoom screen. There's a green button called share screen. Yeah. And yeah, that worked after that.
Okay, fantastic. Everything is just going swimming.
Now I stop sharing again.
Okay, thank you so much. Just let me know if there's anything else that you want to talk about. I'll tell you what, you guys, Blake or Carsten, if you want to say anything, if you want to contribute, just put your hand up, either physically or just use the Zoom hand up function. And so I'm learning here as we go as well. So what I'm going to do is I think if I can set it up so it looks like that for me, so I can keep an eye on both the chats and the Zoom. That should work. Awesome. Right. I've just realized actually, Blake, I've only just clicked onto the fact that your username is Blake Donnelly is the best and better than you. Now your messages are starting to make more sense to me. I should differentiate the colors. Please talk on the Hubble glitch. Oh, hang on, Anthony, Zoom lobby gang. I see. You're waiting to come in as well. My apologies. I need a better system for that, don't I? I need to be able to keep an eye on how that works. I'm just going to come back to you guys. So we're trying all sorts of stuff here. Right, so we've got Anthony in with us as well. Thank you so much, Anthony, for joining in. Let's see if we've got you muted at the moment. You can unmute if you want to. And I think I'm just looking at a still picture there at the moment. And right. Okay, so I'm getting other messages coming up here. Okay, I think I see what's happening. This is all good stuff. So again, Anthony, if you want to... oh, hang on, you're coming on. Let's have a look. Let's go back to Anthony. Anthony's with us. Awesome. He's happy. Good stuff. Right, I can see that I'm going to have to rearrange it.
Yo!
You're on. That looks like a nice gaming chair that you've got there. Actually, both of you guys. Are you guys both gamers, Blake and Anthony?
Yeah, it's the new hat.
Love the hat, man.
You're really comfortable.
Yeah, it's the new love the hat, man.
Okay.
Oh, thanks. It's Pippa Pig.
Righto. So I'm hearing a little bit of a delay, I think, from you, Anthony, which is fine. I think that's actually still workable. But I think the key is going to make sure that anyone on Zoom is listening and talking on the Zoom meeting, not through YouTube. So that's a bit of a hassle. It means you're going to have to go backwards and forwards a little bit. But I think we can make that work. Do either of you guys play Kerbal Space Program? Or anyone? You do? Okay. I'm going to get back to that probably before too far away. So I might just keep you guys over there. And I want to get back and I want to talk to you guys and everyone about Kerbal Space Program because it's awesome, but I am a total noob at it, basically. I did have a go at it a while ago, but I'm keen to get into it. So I'm going to get back to you guys soon and talk about that. In the meantime, just put your hand up if you want to talk about anything. But there's one other thing that I want to talk about. So you might remember we've been talking recently about shares in Rocket Lab. So, and I mentioned last week I had gone ahead and a couple of things happened there. Now, Ashley, shout out if you are still there. I think you guys were in, weren't you? Did I get that, Ashley and Wendy? Yeah, you guys were in here. Yep, I see you there. So Ashley sent through an update on Hatch. So I bought my shares in what is Victor Acquisition. but I noticed that Hatch had a thing saying that you could be notified of when the Rocket Lab shares were available. It does turn out that doing it through Hatch is the same as what I did through Sharesies. So what I've done since then is I decided to go and do something that I've been meaning to do for ages, and that's go and buy some shares in some aerospace and rocket companies. Thanks, Hamish. Sorry you have to go, but thank you so much for joining in. We'll catch you next time, hopefully. So what I did is I went in and just bought up on Sharesies basically any kind of aerospace companies that I could find. The only criteria really was that they had to be actively involved in some kind of space activities. And so I found 9 of them so far, including the one down here, which is that Shell Corporation, or it's probably not called that, it's just Shell Company. It's they called it an acquisition, something, a SPAC, I think is what you call it, but I don't know anything about the stuff. So I got myself $100 worth of shares in them, and I just decided to spend $10 on all of these other ones just to see what would happen. Now, I don't know anything about buying shares, so I just threw my money in. I put in $300, and I've only lost a few dollars so far, so that's not too bad. I've only lost about $4. So the worst performing one out of all of them is Rocket Lab. So, but I don't think we're going to worry too much about that. Of course, it's been less than a week, so you can't read anything into this. But I was interested to see that in that short time, Virgin Galactic has actually gone up. Boeing's gone up. Neither of those I expected. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep an eye on those shares. A lot of it, I guess, is about learning for me, just to figure out how this works and to get a better feel for the economy with how these aerospace companies are performing. Now, SpaceX is not a public company at this stage, and I don't think Elon is interested in going public with SpaceX itself. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Hey, Alan, nice to see you. Thanks for joining in. So if anyone knows anything more about that, let me know. But I do believe that Starlink, you will be able to buy Starlink. I think they have an IPO coming up this year. So if they do, I think I'd be keen to get on some shares with them. If anyone knows of any other companies that you can buy shares in that are actively involved in space, let me know. I'll add them to this portfolio. It's really just a token investment because I'm not that wealthy, but I think it'll be a bit of fun to keep an eye on those shares and see how they go. Right, so
can you get shares in the Boeing program?
Did you ask how did I, or can you, or
can you?
Can you? So in Boeing, you just mean buy shares in Boeing, the Boeing company. If that was your question, yes, you absolutely can. That might be something that interests you. So Boeing is basically just Boeing Corporation or whatever it's called. That is obviously an airline company, but they also do a lot of work in space. So I count them as an aerospace company, absolutely. So just on Sharesies, basically you just go in there and you just click on the invest thing. So you just click on there and you just search for, let's say, we'll search for Boeing and it'll come up right there, and you just click on it and you just decide how much you're going to buy. And it is on the way up right now. So that's pretty cool. Is that what you were asking, Blake? Okay, cool. So if anyone else wants to get on board with that, you go for your life. So that was my thing about shares. We'll just check on that each week and see how the shares are doing. Right, so there was nothing else that I wanted to talk about except for Kerbal Space Program. Now, I just need to move a couple of things around over here, and where can I put that? I've run out of screen space. I've got 3 4K monitors here, and I've run out of screen space. So what I need to do, because I didn't want to run Kerbal at the start because it's a bit taxing on the system given all of the other stuff I've going on here. So I'm going to try and load it now. That's not looking good. Nothing's happening. While I try and get Kerbal Space Program going, what I've done is, just going back a sec, I have tried KSP a few times back in the past, but it never really came to much. I never really got past just doing a couple of really simple rockets. Why is that not working? I'm going to have to do it a bit more manually. Drat. Okay. So just bear with me a sec while I go in here, and I am going to try and launch it. So what I've done, so for those of you who don't know, Kerbal Space Program is a game where you learn how to make and launch rockets. It's a really, really popular program, a game, and it's really educational. It actually teaches you how rockets work. Ooh, high CPU usage detected. You may experience performance issues. Well, yikes. If everything crashes and burns, my apologies. We'll just try again next week. At the moment, Kerbal is trying to load. Now, one of the things that I know with Kerbal Space Program, like a lot of games, you can't actually readjust the size of the window unless you go into full screen. I have found that doing that crashes my system because there's a conflict with some other stuff. I won't go into the details, but I did find a way. Ooh, there's the sound from it. I'm just going to turn that down. So what I've got here, anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. What I've got is a completely new stock installation of Kerbal Space Program. It's absolutely, I haven't done anything at all with it. Let's get rid of all of that. Don't show them ago. Don't show them again. So it is looking a little bit small when I try and figure it out. I did actually find a way to resize the window, but for some reason that's not working. So Kerbal Space Program, you come in here, you learn all about how to make rockets. Let's just start a game. So as I say, I'm effectively a complete noob at this. So I want to start, you want to start in career mode, don't I? So you guys will know a lot more about this. So if you've got any good tips for when you're getting up and running with Kerbal Space Program at the start, let me know. But I do kind of know basically how it's supposed to work. So these are just introduction messages. So what happens is that you start off, you've got a space center with all of these different buildings and stuff. It's not much when you very first start. It's pretty bare. And the idea is it's kind of a world building game, I guess. So you want to build up your space center. You want to do missions, make rockets, and earn credits and stuff, and eventually get it much, much bigger. So come in here, and this is your vehicle assembly building. I should have said that at the start, and I don't really have anything much in here at all. On the left, you get your components, various things that you use to make your rockets, and when you're happy with your rocket, you've got everything set up, you can go and launch it. So I'm going to start by putting a command pod out there. I don't even know what all the keyboard shortcuts and everything are. I don't really know much about this, so you can zoom in, zoom out. So I've got a command pod to start off with. Then I'll need to put an engine on it. Now, from memory, I think that's the liquid. Is it? I can't remember. Anyway, so I've got, looks like to start off with, I've got a small solid rocket booster. So I click on that and I can go and pop it underneath there. And basically, now I've got a rocket that could fly. So now you guys will be laughing at this. You KSP players will be watching me fumble around like this, like a cow on a bike. But that's kind of the point of this. I'm kind of hoping that we can talk a little bit about it and you guys can give me some points. Now, let me just catch up on the chats. Anthony's saying if it's anything like Tesla, he'll crash his own SpaceX stocks too. Yep. Wendy, I do believe that Ashley planned to dive into shares, as you are too. Awesome. Let me know how it goes, guys. Carsten's saying if you're keen to show some mathematical background. Okay, then. The famous rocket equation. Okay, right. We're jumping straight into the deep end. Carsten wants to show us the famous rocket equation. If you've got anything there that you want to share on your screen, you just go for your life, Carsten. In the meantime, I'm going to try and launch this rocket. So let's have a look at it. Hang on, I don't have a parachute. I'm going to need a parachute, aren't I? So I believe, you guys correct me, that I've got a rocket that is now ready to launch, but it's not going to come down very safely without a parachute. And I think, yeah, it's down in the utilities, isn't it? So, yep, so this is all I've got, one parachute, which should fit on there. Now, that should be a rocket that is ready to launch. Now, before you go out and launch it, the first thing that you want to do is check that your staging is correct. Now, this is ridiculous that I'm making this sound like this is a tutorial video coming from someone who knows nothing about this. So you guys do correct me if I'm missing anything here. But down here, I've got these stages of this rocket, and I've really just got two stages. So the solid rocket booster down here is going to fire first, launch us off, and then the only next thing that's going to happen is that I've got a parachute. Now, is this going to work? You guys tell me, does this look like a rocket that will launch? No one's saying that it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it outside, click on the launch button. We go out to the launch pad. By next week, I hope that this is going to look bigger and we'll be able to see it a little bit more clearly. What I'm thinking is that I'll just kind of leave this and try and build it, and you guys can watch the progress and see how it goes and help me out. So I think I'm ready to launch. So this is the launch pad. We've got our stages here, and all I need to do, I think, is, hang on, click the wrong one. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring you guys in there. I'm supposed to be clicking my, it is the space bar, isn't it, to launch it? Yikes. So let's try that. Let's see what happens. We'll just activate the window, and yep, we're away. Let's have a bit of sound with it. So our rocket is launching, and basically what happens is that as you've got staging on it, you need to do the staging as it goes. And the only other stage that I have is the parachute. Now, I'm not quite sure when is the best time to deploy the parachute, actually. That's how little I know about this. I should also point out that you get a map. So if we go over to that view, you can see a map of where we're going. So this is the planet Kerbin. It's an imaginary planet, but sort of kind of a bit like Earth. So my rocket is launching. Right, so I've just realized I didn't stage the bottom bit. Hope that might mean that I'm too heavy to land. I'm not actually sure. Am I going to be able to land with this? I'm going to bring you guys in because you look so... I'm not going to use a word for it. This is what these guys are looking right now. They're having a bit of fun over there. So, goodness gracious me. Anyway, let's get back to our rocket and see what happens with it. Was I supposed to put the stabilizer on? I'm going to put it on anyway. I don't really know. But so, hang on, let's see where we are. I think, yeah, so we're actually, it's saying we're at apoapsis right now. So we're about as high as we want to be. So we're going to start coming down, and at some stage, I'm going to do it now. Because I think if you stage now, it's telling it to deploy the parachute, but I think if you do it now, it won't actually deploy it until it's safe to do so. So I've done it. I've said it. You can deploy your parachute whenever you want to. Now, you can speed up time, can't you? So let's do that, actually. Otherwise, it's going to take ages. So it's starting to come back down now. And at some stage, it should deploy its parachute. You can see the little astronaut, by the way, on the bottom right there. If your astronaut's happy, then you're happy. So my parachute has deployed. So we're coming back down. And it should... Everything's looking okay at the moment. This might work. I might be able to land this okay. Let's see how it goes. Right, you got the altitude at the top there. So we're coming in. I've sped up time, of course. It's not actually going this fast. Let's go back to normal time. I reckon it might work. I reckon this might land. I should be able to. It's a pretty simple rocket. There's not much to it. So in it comes, and I think I've got everything right. Hopefully it's not going to explode or anything. It slows right down as it comes in. So you can kind of see how this works. The idea is that you just build up more and more bigger and better rockets, and you have to start doing science and stuff to get you more points or earn you more money. I think you get science credits or something like this. So come on, baby. That looks like a successful landing to me. That was unexpected. I can't believe how everything's going tonight. This is awesome. And then you recover your vessel. You come back and you should have earned a few points. I think that's essentially how it works. Yep, here we go. So... yeah, it looks like I've earned a few points there. And now you can come back and you can kind of use your points and you start building more stuff. So that was awesome. That went really well. So I'm actually going to close that now. I've just realized I don't know how do you get back to the menu? Can anyone remember how to get back to the main menu in KSP? Good grief, look at the questions I'm answering. This is a disgrace. I'm just going to close it. I'm just going to exit out of it. Hopefully that doesn't cause any problems. There we go. So I don't know. Is that a dumb idea? I don't want to spend a lot of time. Sorry, I should point that out. I don't want to spend a lot of time each week talking about KSP because it is a game, but it's a cool game. It teaches you how rockets work, how the staging works, the difference between liquid and solid fuels, and all of that kind of stuff. So I think it's a lot of fun and a really cool thing to do. It does cost. It's not a free game, of course. I can't remember how much I paid for that. Anyway, so that was that. I think I've just about run out of things to say. Now, did you guys in the Zoom session here have anything else that you wanted to talk about or say, or are we just going to pile things on our head for the rest of the evening? I think that's probably what we were looking at there. Hey, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming in here. That's been really cool having you guys in. So depending on how things go in the future, depending on whether or not we can build this up and get more people tuning in, it would be awesome to have different sessions about different things. Now, I'm really happy to have different sessions all about KSP. I'm keen to run KSP competitions if we can do something like that, but I will definitely need to get more up to speed myself. As you can see, I am a cow on a bike when it comes to stuff. So, Karsten, you're heading off, are you? Oh, no, sorry, you wanted to come in. Sorry, Karsten. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to ask Blake and Anthony, can you read anything on the screen? So for me, it's quite blurry and I can't really read it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely quite hard to read the YouTube chat. I've just got to open
I have the YouTube video on my other screens just to read the stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about the stuff. Which direction is it? Over there. You're talking about like you guys on screen right now. That chat there, you're saying that's, or even the one that's below me, is a bit too hard for you to read, right?
Yeah, all writing. So the chat, I can't really read it. I can read it on the YouTube video.
Okay.
Not on the Zoom screen.
Right. Okay. Now that's a good thing. Actually, sorry, no, a good thing to know. That's good information. One thing that you could possibly do that we could sort out later if we have to is you won't be able to read it, but the URL that I've got there, you can actually separate. I think actually, can you even do it in YouTube? There might even be a button where you can open the chat out to its own window, so it doesn't have the video on it. It's just the live chat feed. Basically, on any YouTube URL. After the question mark where it says, after the slash where it says watch V equals, you change watch to live_chat and it will just show you the chat for that video. So that could be one way around that. So
you can also just hit the three dots like along the right where it says top chat and open the whole drop down menu and you just click pop out chat.
I think that's what I was thinking of. Thank you so much for that, Anthony. Yeah. I knew it'd be good getting you guys in here. And seriously, that's part of the big reason why I want to get this Zoom in. Because when we used to do these shows back a couple of years ago, it was just way too much of me talking at people. I think it would be much better if we had a bit more interaction and this kind of stuff. It's awesome. So now you guys are both KSP players, right? You're not? Oh, okay. Sorry, I got that wrong. I thought you guys said you were KSP players. If you know of any KSP players, it would be really good to get people who know more about it than me to help me out a little bit. Now, if anyone's a fan of Scott Manley, and you should be, he's absolutely awesome on YouTube. He's a big KSP fan, and he obviously knows it inside out. So I need to go and watch some of his videos. He must have some earlier ones showing you how to use it. So I'm going to go and catch up with him soon. Okay, so who else have we got in here? Hi, everyone who's just joined us or joined in not too long ago. Thank you so much. Hoopy Troopy, your message was retracted. I hope that's not a problem. We used to have a bit of a problem with that. And someone is a J&J Gun, I think. Hello there. Thank you for joining in. We're actually thinking about wrapping it up fairly soon, I think. I think I have pretty much run out of things that I was going to talk about tonight, but I had just such a horrible week trying to fix that software issue that I just had no time to be looking at any news or anything really. So I think I'm just quickly whizzing down the rest of my notes here. No, there's nothing else. I don't think there's anything else happening significantly with the Mars 2020 that we needed to talk about. If this coming week goes better for me, maybe we might have some more news to talk about next week. As always, if you've got anything that you want to talk about on this live stream or anything you think we should be doing, just let me know. But with that, I want to say one more thanks. I'm just going to bring you guys on the Zoom thing back into view, and I'm just going to try just bringing that out just so I can see what that looks like and see if that looks a little bit better. Actually, if I did this, and then, because I've got this all taking up the same screen space here, you see. If I did something like I should be able to, that might be a little bit easier for you guys to read. If I did something like that, possibly.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, then that could be a way around it as well. But, right. So when will I next be live? That's a tricky one. I'm thinking this session Sunday evening, 7 p.m. New Zealand time seems to be working okay. Let me know what time suits you, okay? Because I'm really flexible with this. I'm also looking at trying to get some sessions that are suitable for overseas time zones. I know we've got a few people in the UK that want to chat. and join in with the stuff. So just let me know. If anyone wants to let me know, make sure you tell me the day of the week, the time that you'd like to do it, and your time zone. That's really important. So, but at this stage, I'm hoping to be doing this every Sunday at 7 p.m. New Zealand time. What do you have to do on YouTube? You click the bell icon, don't you, to get notifications. So make sure you do that, subscribe, get the notifications, and hopefully when I schedule something, you'll get some notification about that. Okay, Casey likes this time. Thank you so much for that. Hoopy's a lover. Awesome. Okay, I think with that, I'm actually going to call it a night tonight. We're coming up to an hour. Oh, don't forget, in 5 minutes' time, you need to go outside and have a look for the Starlink. So if you can take any photos or do anything like that, go and do that. It should be coming from the southwest from about 2 minutes. Sorry, just turn that sound down. From about 2 minutes after 8 till about 13 minutes past 8, supposedly. So get outside and do that. I'm going back to our Zoom one last time. So another big thank you to you guys. And I just wanted to test something. Oh, did you want to show us something there? What have you got there? Is that a squiddly? Okay. Oh, sorry. Hang on. I turned your sound down. Go again.
I was just saying, this is the tiny Squidward. It wasn't really anything. I was just kind of holding it up for the jokes.
Squidward.
I got another Happy Meal toy.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Right. Look, I really, really do appreciate you guys coming in. This is actually the first time that we've had both a live stream and a Zoom thing going properly without the delay and everything. So that is really cool. I'm absolutely stoked. Thank you guys so much for that. And thank you everyone else for tuning in. Please let people know about this because I'm not advertising this. I'm not doing any promotion. I'm really just hoping that we can build it organically. So that's all I'm going to say for tonight. Thank you so much again. At this stage, we're looking at the same time next week. Keep an eye on the YouTube channel. If we could get up to 1,000 YouTube subscribers, I can actually start posting notes on YouTube. But it's a bit embarrassing. I don't even have 1,000 viewers on there. We're still in the 800s at the moment. I really need to sort that out. Enough waffling from me. I'm going to go. Thanks, everyone. It's been great. We'll see you next time.